Dengue? When did I get dengue? What do you mean I need the yellow fever vaccine to travel from Panama to the Bahamas? Or if you're over 60 years old, you're exempt and can receive an exemption letter and had to wait 11 days for a new flight. Some of these can be found in the USA as well. In this video, I'm breaking down the 3 mosquito-borne illnesses, dengue, malaria, and yellow fever, that you need to know about when traveling to or living in Panama. Also with tips on how to protect yourself from each of them. Wait, what? Oh my God, should I still go to Panama? I don't want any of these illnesses. Calm down, calm down. 2 of them are in the USA as well. Can you guess which ones? Let me know in the comments below on what your guess is and use a mosquito emoji. The answers will be revealed later on in the video. Also, let me know what your favorite insect repellent is. Now, this isn't a scare fest video. It's a get informed before you go kind of discussion so that you can educate yourself on things that you may or may not consider when traveling here. And for those of you that are living here, this is especially for you because, well, we can sometimes get complacent. I know I did. Now, let's get started. So, what are these illnesses? The World Health Organization defines them as the following. Dengue is a viral infection that spreads from mosquitoes to people. It's more common in tropical and subtropical climates. Most people with dengue have mild or no symptoms at all and will get better in 1 to 2 weeks. Rarely, dengue can be severe and lead to death. If symptoms do occur, they usually begin 4 to 7 days after infection. Symptoms may include high fever, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle joints and pains, nausea, vomiting, swollen glands, and a rash. There's no specific treatment for dengue fever. They suggest rest and a lot of fluids. Malaria is a life-threatening disease spread to humans by some types of mosquitoes, and is mostly found in tropical countries. It is preventable and curable. The most common and early symptoms of malaria are fever, headaches, and chills. Symptoms usually start within 10 to 15 days of getting bitten by an infected mosquito. Symptoms may be mild for some people, especially for those who have had a malaria infection before. Some types of malaria can cause severe illnesses and death. Severe symptoms include extreme tiredness and fatigue, impaired consciousness, multiple convulsions, difficulty breathing, dark or bloody urine, jaundice, and abnormal bleeding. Malaria can be prevented by avoiding mosquito bites and by taking medicine. Multiple medications are used to prevent and treat malaria. Doctors will choose one or more based on the type of malaria, whether a malaria parasite is resistant to a medicine, the weight or age of the person, and whether the person is pregnant. Yellow fever is an epidemic-prone mosquito-borne vaccine-preventable disease that is transmitted to humans by the bites of infected mosquitoes and ticks. The incubation period for yellow fever is 3 to 6 days. Many people do not experience symptoms, but if they do, common symptoms can include fever, muscle pain, headache, loss of appetite, nausea, or vomiting. In most cases, symptoms disappear after 3 to 4 days. A small amount of people enter a second and more toxic phase within 24 hours of recovering from initial symptoms. High fever returns and several body systems are affected, usually the liver and kidneys. In this phase, people are likely to develop jaundice, the yellowing of the skin and eyes, hence the name yellow fever. They'll also develop dark urine, abdominal pain, and vomiting. Bleeding can occur from the mouth, nose, eyes, or stomach. Half of the patients who enter the toxic phase die within 7 to 10 days. There's no specific antiviral drug for yellow fever. There is, however, a vaccine. So let's talk about the vaccine for a moment. This isn't a vax or anti-vax debate. It's just for informational purposes. If you're in Panama and you want to travel to a country that requires this vaccine, you can get one in Panama City, Panama. Or if you're over 60 years old, you're exempt and can receive an exemption letter. Now, this leads us to my story and my trip to the Bahamas. I was all checked in at the airport here in Panama City, waiting at the gate for my flight to the Bahamas. You heard me, at the gate. I was already checked in. I was just in Nassau a few months ago, but my flight from Panama connected in Florida. This time, I was flying directly to the Bahamas from Panama City. flight attendant called a few names, one of which was mine, and then asked for a yellow fever vaccine card. Huh? What are you talking about? A vaccination card? I was completely blindsided. My entire trip was almost derailed because of a tiny mosquito and a vaccine requirement that I knew nothing about. At this point, I had traveled to over 26 countries. How did I make this kind of mistake? Well, under the travel requirements in the airline app, the first thing they had mentioned was COVID, not yellow fever, so I most likely just scrolled on by when I should have read it in its entirety. Also, I was used to traveling to the Bahamas from the United States, where this is not required, but now, living in Panama, there are a different set of rules. That said, the only thing that was different between this flight and my last flight was my connection in the United States. Both times, I was coming from Panama. Please make it make sense. A video of this ordeal can be found in the description below. I was denied the ability to board the flight, ended up getting the vaccine, and had to wait 11 days for a new flight. Why did I have to wait 11 days? Well, the vaccination has to be done at least 10 days before travel to be valid. Please note, who gets stopped and who doesn't at the airport for this vaccination verification can depend on the check-in or gate agent, so just be aware of this and the requirements. Now, don't be scared and think you need to take Panama off your list to visit or move to. Some of these can be found in the USA as well. Let's see if you guessed correctly. Dengue. Is dengue in the USA? Yes, but it's mostly limited and is not widespread. Locally transmitted dengue has occurred in Florida, Texas, and Hawaii, especially in areas with warm climates and the right mosquito species. Most of the U.S. cases are travel-related, meaning people catch it abroad and bring it back to the U.S. Malaria. Yes, is found in the U.S. as well, but is very rare. The U.S. eliminated malaria as an endemic disease in the 1950s. Today, nearly all of the cases are imported by travelers, but in 2023, there were a handful of locally acquired cases in Florida and Texas. Yellow fever. Nope, there hasn't been any current local transmission. The USA hasn't had a yellow fever outbreak in over a century. However, the mosquito that spreads it is found in some U.S. regions. Dengue? When the heck did I get dengue? I was and am still perplexed by this diagnosis. I wonder where I got it from. I had to retrace my steps. I went to the Darien jungle here in Panama in November and spent a night with the Embera wuon, but I used a ton of bug spray. I went to the Dominican Republic in April for my friend's 50th birthday celebration. I also went to the Gunayala, aka San Blas, in May and spent the night. I got sick after my trip to the DR, and I also got sick after my trip to San Blas. I was extremely cautious with mosquito repellent in the Darien jungle and slept under a mosquito net. I was not as diligent in the Dominican Republic nor San Blas. When I spent the night in San Blas, I forgot to put on the repellent before I went to sleep, so I have no idea where I got it, but I was shocked when I saw it on my test results. So, prevention is your best friend whether you're visiting Panama or if you're living here. Use repellent with DEET or picaridin. If you rather natural repellents, use what you have, but the point is to just use repellent. Sleep with mosquito nets when possible if you're in a high-risk area. Wear long sleeve and pants when tolerable. Research the area of Panama that you're visiting. Each area is different, and some require more diligence than others. Panama is beautiful. Panama is a gorgeous country, and I just love living here. But mosquitoes don't care about your vacation or your visa status. Protect yourself, get informed, know where you're going, and what the risks are, if any. And if you're an expat like me, or planning on moving here, don't always assume your home country's rules apply for travel. They don't. Research accordingly and make sure to look at the travel requirements for your destinations. I want to give a shout out to our newest channel members, HB5, KR, and Fastest and Growing, our current channel members, those who have donated to the channel, and all of our subscribers and viewers. Your support is truly appreciated. If you found this video to be helpful, give this video a like and drop a mosquito emoji in the comments. Watch this one up next, and remember, the world is yours. You just have to find your place in it.